Have you ever wondered what really happens when an older man turns 80? Many people imagine this milestone as a sudden drop in health or a doorway to decline, but the truth is more complex and far more revealing. Once men reach their 80s, their bodies and minds send out clear signals that tell a deeper story about aging, independence, and longevity. Some men in this stage still carry themselves with surprising strength, while others slow down with fatigue or memory lapses. The difference is often found not in fate or luck, but in the patterns of life and health. In this video, we are going to talk about 7 things that really happen when men turn 80. These are not guesses or myths, but patterns confirmed by researchers, doctors, and countless families who have seen them firsthand. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what to expect, whether for yourself or someone you love, and most importantly, what steps you can take to make the later years stronger, healthier, and more meaningful. Stay tuned until the end, because the 7th point may be the most unexpected, and it could change the way you think about aging altogether. Once you recognize these 7 things, you will have a clearer picture of what 80 means and how to navigate it with dignity, wisdom, and confidence. Now, let's get started. Number 1. Physical strength decline. One of the clearest changes that happens when a man turns 80 is a noticeable decline in physical strength. This is not just about lifting heavy things or running far. It is about the way the body recovers, the stamina to move through the day, and the resilience to bounce back after illness or injury. Research in aging shows that after 80, muscle mass decreases more rapidly and recovery times become longer, making every effort feel heavier than it once did. Consider 2 men, Thomas and Raymond, both 81 years old. Thomas has kept a habit of light strength training and daily walks. His steps are steady, his grip remains firm, and he can still climb a set of stairs without stopping to catch his breath. Raymond, on the other hand, slowed down years ago. He spends most of his time sitting, struggles to lift even light grocery bags, and finds himself winded after walking across the room. The difference between the two is not just in their age, but in how they maintain their muscles and mobility over the years. A loss of strength does not only affect independence, it can signal deeper risks. Weaker muscles make falls more likely. Slower recovery raises vulnerability after illness, and reduced stamina can discourage men from socializing or staying engaged. This combination can quietly accelerate decline. At the same time, researchers emphasize that muscle strength is not completely out of reach after 80. The body still responds to activity, even if it is gentler than in younger years. The hopeful truth is that even small steps can restore resilience. Simple leg exercises, light weights, or daily walks around the block can slow muscle loss and improve balance. Gentle stretching in the morning or using resistance bands can keep joints flexible and reduce stiffness. These habits not only strengthen the body, but also lift mood, protect independence, and extend the years of active living. Ask yourself, have you noticed your steps becoming slower or ordinary tasks feeling heavier? Do you find yourself avoiding activities you once enjoyed because they take too much energy? If so, it may be time to focus on building back some of that strength, because the way you move at 80 is not just a reflection of your age, it is a reflection of how much vitality you can still hold on to. Number 2. Cognitive shifts. Another change that becomes more noticeable when men turn 80 is the way the mind processes information. Many older men find that recalling names, remembering where they placed items, or keeping track of details takes longer than it once did. This slowing does not necessarily mean dementia, but rather a natural shift in how the brain works with age. Neurologists explain that processing speed decreases. Short-term memory may fade more quickly, and multitasking becomes harder. At the same time, long-term memory and life experience remain strong, often giving men in their 80s a kind of wisdom that younger people deeply value. Think of 2 men, Albert and Frank, both 82 years old. Albert sometimes forgets where he left his glasses or mixes up an appointment, but he can still recall vivid stories from his past, share thoughtful advice, and reason clearly about important decisions. His children turn to him for perspective, trusting his judgment. Frank, on the other hand, dismisses his forgetfulness, brushing it off as unimportant until it begins to affect his daily life. He forgets to pay bills, misplaces medications, and struggles to follow conversation. These lapses frustrate him and create stress in his family, who worry about his safety. These cognitive changes can be unsettling, but they are also signals to pay closer attention. Memory lapses that are frequent or disruptive may point to underlying issues such as poor sleep, medication side effects, or early cognitive decline. Ignoring them only increases the risk of confusion and dependence. But awareness allows for early action, like medical evaluations, brain exercises, or lifestyle adjustments that support mental sharpness. The positive side is that the brain remains adaptable even in the reading, learning new skills, playing memory games, and staying socially engaged all stimulate brain pathways. Physical exercise and good nutrition also improve blood flow to the brain, supporting clearer thinking. Many men find that staying curious and open keeps their mind sharper than expected. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any video. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 3. Shifts in sleep patterns. One of the realities men often face after turning 80 is a noticeable change in sleep. Nights may become shorter with more frequent awakenings, lighter sleep cycles, and less time spent in the deep, restorative stages of. Doctors explain that aging affects circadian rhythms, making it harder to stay asleep, and medical issues like prostate concerns, pain, or medications can further disrupt the night. What once was a solid stretch of rest now feels fragmented, leaving energy levels low the next day. Picture 2 men, William and Robert, both in their early 80s. William has worked on his sleep hygiene, setting a steady bedtime, avoiding heavy meals late at night, and spending time outdoors in the morning light. Though his sleep is lighter than when he was younger, he still manages 6 to 7 steady hours and wakes up feeling refreshed. Robert, however, often dozes off in his chair during the day, then finds himself tossing and turning at night. He wakes up several times, struggles to fall back asleep, and rises in the morning feeling drained. Over time, his fatigue makes it harder to stay active, sharp, and socially engaged. This shift in sleep is not just inconvenient, it can influence memory, heart health, and mood. Poor sleep raises stress hormones, weakens immunity, and can increase the risk of falls or confusion during the day. Many men dismiss restless nights as just part of aging, but researchers warn that untreated sleep problems can accelerate decline. The hopeful news is that better sleep is still possible. Simple changes like keeping a consistent schedule, limiting naps, reducing caffeine, and creating a cool, quiet bedroom environment can restore deeper rest. Gentle evening routines, such as reading, stretching, or calming music, signal the body that it is time to wind down. For some, medical advice is needed to rule out conditions like sleep apnea, which can be treated and dramatically improve quality of life. Ask yourself, do you wake up more often than you used to? Do you feel tired even after a full night in bed? If so, it may be time to pay closer attention to your sleep, because how well you rest at 80 is not just about feeling comfortable. It is about keeping your body and mind strong for the years ahead. Number 4. Digestive and appetite changes. Another thing that happens more often when men reach 80 is a shift in appetite and digestion. Meals that once brought comfort may feel less appealing. Hunger signals may weaken, and food may lose some of its flavor. Doctors who study aging note that metabolism slows at this stage. The sense of taste and smell dulls, and medications can alter how food is experienced. As a result, some men eat less than their bodies truly need, while others turn to processed foods for convenience, leading to unbalanced nutrition. Take 2 men, Gerald and Martin, both 80 years old. Gerald makes it a point to eat balanced meals with vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains. He may not feel hungry all the time, but he schedules regular meals and enjoys cooking with his wife. His energy remains steady, and he maintains a healthy weight. Martin, however, has lost much of his appetite. He skips meals, relies on snacks from boxes or cans, and has unintentionally lost weight over the past year. His children notice his clothes hanging looser, but he insists he is fine. What Martin does not realize is that his poor nutrition is making him weaker, reducing his immune strength and slowing his recovery from minor illnesses. This change in appetite is not only about food, it is about vitality. Without enough protein, muscles break down fast. Without vitamins and minerals, the immune system falters and mood can decline. Even dehydration becomes more common, since older men often do not feel thirst as strongly, raising the risk of dizziness and confusion. The good news is that small adjustments can make eating enjoyable and effective again. Preparing smaller but more frequent meals, adding herbs and spices to boost flavor, and choosing nutrient-dense foods like eggs, beans, or yogurt can make a big difference. Drinking water regularly, even before thirst is felt, keeps the body steady. Sharing meals with family or friends can also restore appetite, turning eating into a social event instead of a chore. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 5. Emotional resilience. When men reach 80, emotional resilience is often tested in new ways. This stage of life brings unique challenges, loss of peers, health concerns, or changes in independence that can stir feelings of sadness, frustration, or even fear. Some men become more anxious, while others feel bouts of loneliness that they never expect. Yet, studies in psychology remind us that age also brings a capacity for deeper reflection, perspective, and acceptance, allowing many older men to respond with surprising calm and wisdom. Think about two men, Harold and Leonard, both 83 years. Harold faces struggles, but he has learned how to cope with stress by practicing deep breathing, keeping a journal, and staying connected with close friends. When unexpected challenges arise, he takes them in stride, and his family sees him as a steady presence. Leonard, however, carries his worries silently. He dwells on health fears, grieves losses without speaking of them, and feels overwhelmed by daily frustrations. His family notices his mood growing heavier, and his health begins to reflect the weight of that stress. Emotional resilience at 80 is not about ignoring difficulties. It is about how you meet them. Men who bottle up emotions or let stress control their thoughts often see their health decline more quickly. Chronic worry raises blood pressure, weakens immunity, and makes restful sleep harder to find. On the other hand, men who learn to adapt, to talk about their feelings, and to lean on supportive relationships often find renewed strength and peace of mind. The encouraging truth is that resilience can be built at any age. Talking openly with trusted friends or family, practicing relaxation techniques, or engaging in hobbies that spark joy can all lift the heart. Spiritual practices, community involvement, or counseling can also help release burdens that feel too heavy to carry alone. Choosing not to dwell on what cannot be controlled frees energy to focus on what can still bring meaning and fulfillment. Ask yourself, do you find small frustrations lingering longer than they used to? Do you carry worries in silence, or do you share them with others who care? If so, it may be time to open new pathways for resilience. Because at 80, true strength is not measured only in muscles, but in the calm, steady spirit that allows you to keep moving forward with dignity and hope. Number 6. Shrinking social circles. By the time a man reaches 80, one of the changes that becomes most visible is the shrinking of his social circle. Friends and peers from earlier years may have moved away, become less mobile, or passed on, leaving fewer companions to share daily life with. While family often remains, the day-to-day network of friendships tends to narrow,
and without attention, this can lead to feelings of loneliness and disconnection. Researchers on aging consistently point out that fewer social ties are directly linked to poorer health outcomes, while men who maintain connections enjoy better mood, memory, and even longer lives. Consider two men, Eugene and Walter, both 80 years old. Eugene makes the effort to stay connected. He calls his brother every week, attends a small group at church, and visits the local community center. Even though many of his old friends are no longer around, he builds new bonds and keeps his life full of conversation and laughter. Walter, however, has slowly withdrawn. He rarely answers calls, avoids community gatherings, and tells himself he prefers to be alone. As the months pass, he speaks less and less with others, and his health and spirit begin to fade. The danger of shrinking social circles is not only emotional. Isolation has been shown to raise the risk of heart problems, memory decline, and even early death. Men who lose social ties too quickly may also lose motivation to stay active, eat well, or keep routines, since no one is there to share in their lives. What begins as a quiet preference for solitude can quietly become one of the greatest threats to longevity and dignity. The good news is that social connection can be rebuilt even later in life. Reaching out to a family member, joining a group centered on a hobby, or simply greeting a neighbor regularly can open doors. Even technology, when embraced, can help older men stay connected with loved ones across distance. The key is remembering that relationships are not a luxury at 80, they are a necessity for health and happiness. Ask yourself, have you noticed your social circle shrinking more than you expected? Do you sometimes go days without a meaningful conversation? If so, it may be time to reach out, even in small ways, because the connections you nurture now will not only keep your days brighter, they may add precious years to your life. If you're still watching this video and found these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any video. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 7. Perspective on life and legacy. When a man turns 80, one of the most profound changes is the sharpening of perspective on life and legacy. At this stage, many men begin to think less about daily achievements and more about the meaning of the years they have lived, the values they have passed on, and how they will be remembered. This reflection is not only natural, it is a defining feature of aging with dignity. Psychologists explain that legacy thinking helps older adults find peace, purpose, and a sense of completion, even when facing health challenges or uncertainty about the future. Picture two men, Arthur and Dennis, both 84 years. Arthur takes time to write down his family stories, share advice with his grandchildren, and speak openly about what matters most to him. His children feel grateful, knowing his wisdom and values will carry on. Dennis, however, avoids these conversations. He does not talk about the past or what he hopes to leave behind, and his family feels uncertain about his wishes. Over time, Dennis grows restless, sensing unfinished, while Arthur feels calm, proud, and connected. Legacy does not have to mean wealth or grand achievement. It can be as simple as the kindness shown to neighbors, the lessons shared with children, or the example of resilience in the face of hardship. Men who embrace this perspective often find renewed energy and hope, even in their. On the other hand, men who avoid it sometimes feel regret, wishing they had spoken up or left behind something meaningful. The encouraging truth is that it is never too late to shape your legacy. Writing a letter to loved ones, recording memories, or passing on family traditions are powerful ways to ensure that who you are continues to live on. Legacy is not only about the end, it is about giving purpose to every day you still have. Ask yourself, have you thought about the stories, values, or lessons you want to leave behind? Do the people you love know what truly matters to you? If not, there is no better time than now to begin. Because turning 80 is not just about counting the years, it is about making every one of them count in the lives of those who will carry your memory forward. Final thoughts. Now that you know these 7 things that really happen when men turn 80, take a moment to reflect on where you or your loved ones stand. Some of these changes may already feel familiar: less strength in the body, slower recall in the mind, lighter sleep at night, or a shrinking appetite. Others may be more emotional, such as feeling tested by stress, watching friendships fade, or beginning to think more about the meaning of your years. Each of these shifts tells part of the story of aging, but none of them mean that life loses its value or purpose. The important truth is that awareness gives power. Muscle weakness can be met with small daily exercises. Memory lapses can be softened with brain challenges and social engagement. Restless sleep can improve with steady routines. An appetite can be restored with mindful choices. Emotional resilience can grow stronger through openness, faith, or reflection. Social circles can be rebuilt through simple outreach, and legacy can be shaped with every story, lesson, or kindness you choose to share. Turning 80 is not about the end of growth, but about entering a stage where wisdom and perspective become your greatest strengths. The choices you make today, whether to stay active, to remain curious, to keep reaching out, will decide how meaningful and connected your years ahead will be. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.